Hi everybody, Amber here with the Peoria Public Library, and today I'm in the local history and genealogy room where you will usually find me when I'm working at the library. I wanted to show you a lot of resources that we have today with St. Patrick's Day and your Irish heritage. One of the most unique collections we have is this book here that's a collection of Irish immigration resources that are specific to the Peoria Public Library. It includes in it copies of articles from the newspaper focusing on Irish heritage, as well as some pages from the Wpa Works Progress Administration about the population history of Peoria, including the Irish population history, which was number 2 in Peoria in 1900 and 1930. If you're going beyond that, maybe you want to look at some of the Irish churches that happened in Peoria, most specifically St. Mary's Cathedral, one of the first Peoria churches to have, and this is the original St. Mary's and the current St. Mary's as it is now, which was set up in 1847. Prior to that, though, the Catholics had to have Mass somewhere, and maybe you want to read about it in this book, which is the History of the Peoria Churches, also a WPA project. In this book, we have the history of St. Mary's Cathedral, including the first Catholic Mass, which was held in Peoria in a person's home. It just so happens to be my third great-grandfather who held the Mass in his home. Maybe in your research you've discovered that you had family here as early as the 1830s like mine, and when that happened, of course people in the family would die and they'd have to be buried somewhere, and Catholics had to be buried on consecrated ground. So where did they go? St. Mary's Cemetery in Peoria, which was the Irish Catholic cemetery, wasn't established until 1882 in the West Peoria area it is now. It actually existed before that, kind of down on the riverfront, where they decided later it wasn't safe to put. But if you have somebody who may have died in your family between 1872 and 1881, you may find where their original resting place was. We don't know what may have happened to those resting places, but that's not a thing for today or tomorrow. We'll work on that one later. Maybe your family isn't from Peoria at all, but you want to start your Irish genealogy research. We have resources for that as well. We have books on researching your Irish family, researching your Irish surnames, trying to find out where they came from and where they went to. We have plenty for you to explore in there. Maybe you're not Irish at all. Maybe you just like to be Irish on St. Patrick's Day. Let's go beyond that. We can always look at the history of the industries, famous buildings and places that were part of making Peoria what it is today. Maybe you're looking for memories of Peoria, pictures of old buildings, pictures of old companies that don't exist anymore. Maybe you're just looking for real deep history of Peoria. This is one of our many county history books that we have that have a lot of information on biographical sketches and history of Peoria and where places came from, where names came from. This is a great resource to have. Maybe after all that you want to play with the microfilm. The microfilm is a great resource, but sometimes it gets a little scary and a little daunting. Fortunately, we have a collection that we keep in our back room that's not exactly available to anybody but staff, but we'll help you try and find something, and that's the Wpa Newspaper Index. The Wpa Newspaper Index is actually somebody had the time and the wherewithal to go through all the old newspapers and transcribe articles out of it. So we find really fascinating stuff, like this mention of the first St. Patrick's Day parade, presumably, held on Saturday, March 17th, 1860. 161 years ago, there was a St. Patrick's Day parade. So those can have a lot of information. Not everybody will find any information in there because not everything is in the newspapers like it is today. So we hope you find this interesting. We hope you take the time to come down here and learn more about your Irish or not Irish heritage. And remember, on St. Patrick's Day, everybody is Irish. If you're one of the lucky ones, though, you're Irish every day.